Okay, so we are back with the final week of Grand Arena Championships. This is the status of the match that we have coming up. So the next three matches, these are the eight that we have in my group together. Um, Most of them are higher GP than me, and a couple of them have got about 10 zetas less than me. I think about three or four of them, but more or less everyone is similar in terms of gearing and zetas. In terms of mods, there are a couple of them who are really way ahead of the rest of them. Mine are probably one of the worst, along with Elion and Sanandis. But we've got guys like Nikoya, Glacia, and Ace who've got really good mods. And Nikoya especially has got 179 6E mods. So that's really out there. So a couple of good matches in our team. In terms of the GA stats, you can see over here that. Most of these guys have got really good offensive wins. That means they've ended up clearing almost all of their opponents pretty efficiently. All of these guys are in the Iridium just like me, so they also must have won almost all their matches except for maybe two or three. So pretty good overall offensive stats. In terms of undersized wins, we've got a couple of them with really big undersized win. There's Ludovico, who I'm currently facing in this week's in the first Grand Arena match. Dart Knox, each of them has got 31 to 30 undersized wins. That means that they would probably set a lighter defense. And in terms of defensive holds, we've got Dart Knox, who surprisingly has got really high defensive holds despite having so many undersized wins. 36 defensive holds. So that means it could mean that they kept some tricky teams or some really, or maybe they weren't able, people weren't able to get through their Darth Revan teams. So maybe he just had a really tough Darth Revan team that had multiple holds. But anytime that I would see a low defensive holds, like 12 in the case of my current opponent Ludovico, or 13 in the case of Ace, you can guess that that person might have a relatively weaker defense, and you can plan your offense and defensive strategy accordingly. Now, one thing that I mentioned, this is the first week that we have relics incorporated in here, and I haven't really updated many of my relics. As you can see over here from the last couple of rows, I have 0 T1 and T2 relics in there. I just have a couple of characters that I've updated relics for. I've got my Wampa at level 5, and I've got my Grievous at level 5. But most of the other characters you can see over here have got their relics have got at least 10 to 17 T1 and T2 relics, and at least 2 to 4 greater than T3. So so what I'm trying to say over here is basically that relics are having a huge impact on GP, and that is definitely going to affect matchmaking in a big way. One test that I did was I wanted to see whether the guys that I got matched up with earlier on in the month. So this is an example of the matchup that I had with Agriware, who was from Team Instinct. When we got matched up about 3 weeks ago, as you can see, he basically beats me in almost every single stat. He's got way more GP than me, way more G13, G12, and so on and so forth. The one area where I had an advantage on him was I had about 19 more Zetas than him, and that's the reason that we got matched up, despite him having higher number of G13s and G12s. It's because our character GPs were within 5k of each other, just because of the gap in Zetas. But now I just pulled our comparison again a couple of days ago after relics were out, and now you can see over here in this current comparison, his top 80 GP is about 100k more than mine, and his top 65 GP is about 85k more than mine. So after the introduction of relics, this Team Instinct guy who I was faced with about 3 weeks ago has added about 100k more in GP, in the top 80 GP, than I did. And that's one reason why in the future, in a post-relic world, we probably will never get matched up again. So that's basically a case for you to be really, really prudent and wise in how you make your investments in relic, because that can really affect your matchmaking. All right, so let's go over and take a look at the defenses. Okay, so let's take a look at the defenses that have been set. So my current opponent, Ludovico R3, none of us has attacked yet. It's just been a couple of hours, but he set a pretty light defense up front. No Darth Revan, none of the meta teams, Grievous, or anything like that. So that could be at the end, or he might just be saving it for offense. But let's go through our defenses first, and then we can talk about what to attack him with. I've kept the Bounty Hunter Separatist hybrid team in the front out here, which is the Bosk, Boba, Django with the B2 and Watt. So Watt is going to go immediately, give the taunting tech to Bosk to create some amount of havoc. And then, as and when these guys inflict debuffs, and each of them has got an ability to inflict debuffs, Bosk will keep getting healed, in addition to getting healed on his own turn. So that I'm hoping proves to be a little problematic. And once a taunting tech is on Bosk, even Fracture is not going to be able to dispel that. Isolate probably will, but that will force them to use a Treya against it. And then I've got my standard prepared Scoundrels, hoping to exhaust a JTR over there. And then in the front over here, I've got my Evox Nest. And then I've kept my Separatist squad without Grievous, because I'm saving Grievous for a nuke. And then over here I have Newt under Duke, under Dooku. I considered going between Dooku lead or Newt lead, but just decided to go with Dooku lead just for the additional tenacity down and the increased offense that these guys get. My B1 is moderate for offense, and so is Droidica, so I'm hoping that these guys are able to do a good job, or at least strip some banners. At the end over here, I've kept my toughest teams at the back. In this configuration, I've kept my clones with Barriss, and I've kept my rebels with R2 this time, and Old Ben. This is the original rebels combination, which is pretty strong. So that if they haven't used up their CLS already or some other strong team, they would have to do something else for that. And then over here, I've kept my Sith Empire teams. But the regular Sith Empire without Basti and Malak, and then I've kept Malak along with the Karth team. And this team, I've used it for the last couple of Grand Arenas, and it hasn't been cleared yet. Maybe because people have already used up their strong teams in the front, and if you don't have a really strong team left, it's difficult to clear a Malak. So I think the synergy works really well with these guys. Let's see if my opponent right now is able to clear this team or not. So that's the defense. Let's take a look at what my opponent has kept for their defense. So he's kept a relatively weak Karth team. There's Wampa in there, but I don't think it should be an issue. And then we have a very weak Scoundrel team as well, with Zeta Vandor. Not much damage on this team. Again, lots of revives and all that, but not really much damage out there. And then he's kept a relatively weak crew team over here, First Order, and a decent Night Sister team, which has got some interesting gearing choices. He's geared Zombie up to gear 13 with one relic piece on it. I would have gone with the Daka or a Sarge first, or maybe even Spirit, because she hits so hard. Even Talzin would have worked, but getting Zombie to gear 13 and then putting a speed set feels like a waste, because her health is only 60k. If it had gone with a health set, it would have been much more advantageous. It would have been much tougher to take that out. That's just my opinion. An 80k, 90k zombie, health zombie, that is actually something pretty tough to control. But yeah, let's dive right into the attacks. You know what? Let's go to the bottom first and clear this out, because definitely he's trying to hide something behind here, given that these are tougher teams over here. So I'm just going to take some. Let's see, what should I take against the sisters? I think I'm just going to go with my Jedi Knight Revan against the sisters and finish them off. Because I think I have enough for the back zone. Got my Padme and a few others, so I'll just take this and finish this off. Okay, let's get rid of the weakest one first. Get rid of the foresight. Spread this around. Excellent, perfect timing. Everything got deflected. Let's keep working on these guys. Okay, let's heal. That's the second death. And now let's get rid of Spirit Forever. Let's stun her. And let's get rid of Daka. Alright. Let's spread these buffs around. And let's pass this on to Revan. And let's focus down on Daka, get her out of here so that we don't have to bother about her anymore. And I'm going to call Jolie to assist just because I want to get rid of the make him recover some amount of health and protection. Okay, let's get rid of Spirit. Let's cleanse and heal everyone. And now let's get rid of Asajj. Okay, so we have two who are below full health and full protection. So I might get 58 banners here. Let's see if we can't try to recover at least a little bit on Jolie. Tough luck. You know what? I think we should just finish this this match, because the more I delay, the more these guys are going to, more Talzin is going to hit below health and get me less banners. Right, let me just at least try to recover to full health. Let's heal everyone. Beautiful. Let's pass this over to this guy. Let's call Hermit Yoda, Hoda, and then let's keep working on this guy. Okay, so this is good. I'm able to recover at least some amount of protection. I'm going to keep going over here. Second zombie death. Okay, so now zombie is immobilized, so we are pretty good over here now. Let's recover some more. Let's stun this one, which was resisted, of course. Let's pass this on to... Alright. Okay, now I don't think we have a choice. We have to end this now. I think we've got a little bit left on maybe Ezra. 59. Okay, I think we delayed as much as we could. I think if I'd left Spirit at the end instead of Talzin, it would have been easier to recover banners, but that's fine. Okay, so we have crew, and it's a relatively weak crew team, and I do want to save some of my best teams for the end. So I'm going to go in with a Basti Wampa, and I'm going to go undersized and finish this off. Now my Wampa is relic level 5. I've recently added that before this battle, and it's pretty hard, especially with Hermit Yoda's Master's Training and Bastilla Shan's buffs. So I'm going to go in over here and see how these guys do. I don't really need Mace in there, but I just want a tank in there for some extra protection and to absorb the double stun. Alright, now the fun begins. 35k without a crit. Alright, who do we get rid of? Well, first order Stormtroopers, 65k. Let's heal everyone. And let's get rid of first order officer. I'm going to slow it down a bit. 107, that's more like it. Okay, heal some more. Let's land an ability block here. Let's get some. Ooh, look at that, 89k. That's why I enjoy playing with the Wampa so much. Alright, let's finish it off. Probably get 61 banners here. Okay, so we're averaging about 60 banners so far. Let's see what's behind the zone. And we have our Grievous squad, and we have Jedi Training Ray, which is interesting. Well, that's good. I've kept my Night Sisters, so Plague really does a good job against these guys. So I think I'm going to use my Night Sisters against that. And what to use against Grievous? Maybe I'll use my Padme against it. Yeah, I think I've got my Padme. And I have, let's move that up. Padme and Sisters. We'll keep those to counter these two at the end. And then for the others, let's see what else we can do. So against the teams at the top, looking at the Scarth team, I was initially going to take First Order against it, but they don't have a pre-taunter and they're relatively weak. The mission especially is pretty slow and weak, almost just 30-40k overall. I can probably take my Troopers against these guys. That'll save me a good team for the end in case the Grievous team gives me some problems. So let's go ahead with our Troopers against these guys and see if we can't get a quick kill. Alright, that's the first one. Let's add the death mark on this guy. There we go. A little bit of counters from Wampa, which is not ideal, but I think we should be able to recover full health and full protection. I think we might be missing a little bit from Veers. Damn, and a little bit from Snow. Okay, so we might end with 58. Not ideal, but at least we used a cheaper team to take that out. Alright, now what do we do against this one? Okay, so we have more than enough of our offense left. We've got Crew, we've got Padme, Night Sisters, Treya, Geos, and a EP team with Basti. So we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 really good squads left, and we've got 5 teams left. So I think we can afford to go in with Crew against this team. There's no days, but I think Crew should do a decent enough job against these guys. Okay, let's stun this one for a while. And I'm going to go straight for Vandor. Now I'm not going to do the AoE with the Kylo just because L3 is going to end up getting tons of turn meter. So let's get rid of Vandor, and then we can work on the others. Okay, now I want to pass this over to Fox as well, and then do Captain Han Solo. Stun her again. And let's get rid of Captain Han. And now let's get rid of... so you notice over here I'm completely avoiding doing any AoEs because that's going to end up giving a turn meter to L3. Let's top up Kylo. Alright, now we should be good. Stun her again, and stun will get dispelled, but we have things under control right now. Okay, just need to see if we can't get a little bit more protection back on crew. I think we just missed it, 59. Okay, no worries. We have saved all our toughest teams for the back. All right, so we've got a really good squad over here. We've got Padme. So we need to take Treya against that. And we have a bounty hunter squad, which is going to be really, really fast because we have Bosk over here at 297 speed. So that's going to be a handful. So we've got 4 really solid teams at the back. And we need to be really good about how we take these guys out. I want to be able to one-shot everything. And let's see what teams we have, and maybe we might lose banners on a few of these, especially the Grievous squad. It's not going to be clean, but I at least want to one-shot everyone. And the good thing about the Grievous squad is it doesn't have Magna Guard. I'm not sure why he ignored Magna over there, but it should be relatively easier to take out. Okay, let's organize our thoughts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break now and come back in a few hours and continue with my offense. I think we've done decently on the front zone. We have averaged almost 59, I think, 59 to 60 on these 4 matches. So that should be enough to put a little bit of pressure on my opponent in case he decides to go. But I'm going to leave this for a few hours and start recording again in a few hours and think about what I want to take against these guys. Maybe go in and take a look at the mods and analyze my available options, and then continue after a few hours. I think that should be a better idea. All right. Okay, so we're back after a few hours. In fact, I slept on it overnight and decided to see the next day what my opponent has done. So he has cleared a lot of my zones, and he has in fact one-shot almost every single zone of mine with pretty decent efficiency. So my front zone over here, the Watt team really didn't hold, and neither did the Scoundrel team. Out here in the front, the Evox with Nest was one-shot as well, and as was the Separatist squad. And then at the back, the Malik or the Darth Revan, both of them were pretty easily taken down, I think. So he's got 1600 with 3 zones left, and no attempts on my last zone, which I think is the toughest zone yet, the CLS and clones. But he did save almost everything for offense, so I'm not I don't doubt that he's going to one-shot those. Now with the score of 1600, if my opponent gets about 60 banners for the last 2 matches, it's going to be exactly 1900. And if he gets about 55 banners, it'll be about 1890. I think 55 is more likely, given that there's a lot of retribution on this team and counterattacks. So 1890 to 1900 should be my goal if I have to feel safe. That means that my efficiency on these teams should be at least 54 to 57 in order to reach 1890 to 1900, which is going to be pretty tough, given that the Padme team is... you can very easily lose one character in the Padme team if you're not careful going against it. Similarly, the Grievous team as well can easily one-shot someone with the AoEs, and it's a level 7 Grievous. So I need to be really careful about the counters that I use for these. And the other two teams are relatively weaker. I should be able to take them out, but I'm not going to worry about them too much at this stage. I want to first take out the Padme team and the Grievous team, one-shot them, and then go ahead with what I need in the other two teams to basically get 1890. So let's go for the Grievous team first. Now the good thing over here is there's no Magna Guard, and I was initially thinking of taking Thrawn in here because my Thrawn is faster than all these guys, and just go take in Thrawn, fracture Grievous, and then work on the other guys. But that may not work because I need to save Thrawn against Padme. Padme team needs both isolate as well as fracture, so I'm going to save Thrawn for that, and that means that I have I probably don't have many options against Grievous since I don't have my Jedi Knight Revan team or Basti. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take in my Padme against these guys. My Padme is faster, so I should be able to hopefully get B1 down early, and then they have survivability as well with all the protection up and all that. The main danger is B1 over here, and without Magna Guard he should be easy to target and take down. And then B2 battle droid is the main danger over here. B1 is actually going to help out in the Padme team because of all his assists. He's going to end up giving protection up, the locked buff. So that is going to help out the team a little bit. But B2 is the one who's the most dangerous. So let's go into the Padme team and see if these guys are able to do a decent job. I was half inclined to take Night Sisters in there, but it's a dicey battle with Night Sisters against Grievous, and especially a level 7 relic Grievous. It's going to be extremely tough. Okay, so I'm going to go and just attack B2 Super Battle Droid because I want to take him out first. And no AoE yet. Get some protection up, and then another mass assist. And okay, so far so good. And let's do okay, so B2 is down. Now let's give protection up to everyone and dispel Droideka. Now we just need to build up enough courage in order to be able to one-shot Grievous. So what I'm going to do is, well, yeah, the problem is if I target Grievous, then he's going to end up taunting. So I'm just going to target Newt for now. And okay, let's keep going. Okay, we're surviving so far. Let's give this to Grievous. Okay, so we survived the first hit. Now we've got 15 stacks. I think 15 stacks should be enough to get rid of Grievous, because Grievous has got more health and protection, and each stack of courage deals 40% damage to the target's maximum health. So 15 stacks would be I would have been more comfortable if it was 16 stacks, but 15 stacks would be 120% damage to health, which means that since Grievous has got about 150k health and about 50k protection, maybe this might get rid of him because he's got an expose as well, which is another 20% damage to health. There we go. So that was just enough to get rid of Grievous. So that was a good outcome. All right, let's get rid of Droideka and then just work on the others. Unfortunately, no way to recover protection, but we should be able to end with decent amount of banners. I think anything more than 55 will be great over here. Get some protection up, some more protection up. Now it's not much of an issue. All right, so no debuffs are going to land. There. Now we can easily polish these guys off. 55, which is not ideal. That would have been the same amount I would have gone with the knights. I would have got with Night Sisters as well, just because there's no way that Padme team has to recover protection, just like the Night Sister team. But at least I ended up not losing anyone. So that was I think I caught a piece of break because there was no Magna Guard in there. If there was a Magna Guard in there, that would have made the Grievous team even tougher. Just because Magna Guard, not because I couldn't reach Grievous, but because I wouldn't be able to reach B2. Because I think the main thing that Magna Guard does is he stealths B2 and he prevents him from being targeted earlier on by your teams, either Jedi Knight Revan or any other team that you're going for. And if he's not there, then you're able to take down B2. Then handling Grievous is much easier. So Magna Guard Taunt is actually the main thing which causes problems. And in this case, Courage, anything which deals percentage health damage is great against Grievous just because he's got so much of health. So in this case, Courage is actually perfect to deal with him. 55 banners. Let's continue, see what else we have on top and what else we can take against this Padme team now. So this Padme team presents an interesting problem. I definitely do need to take Treya against it. I don't have any other team, and I need Isolate definitely to do any decent job against this. And I need to isolate Padme and fracture General Kenobi, and then take down Anakin first, and then the others will fall. Now the issue is my Thrawn is exactly one speed less than Padme. And on her first turn, so my Thrawn is 283, this Padme is 284. So on her first turn, Padme is going to go first, and she's going to go and stun, call a Mass Assist on someone over here in my team. And I don't want that someone to be Thrawn because I need to be able to pass the turn meter back to Treya in order to isolate Padme. So I need to get a pre-taunter in here. So let's go with my Treya team. And the only pre-taunter I have left is Shore. I wish I had Sith Trooper in here. He would have been probably better. But yeah, I don't have any other tank over here. So I'll need to go in with Shore and hope that he lasts long enough to get the job done. Okay, so she's going to probably go and stun Shore first. There we go. Now, unfortunately, he's got protection up. He's got a taunt as well. So I'm going to pass the turn meter to Treya, and I'm going to isolate. Oh, why did Thrawn get the turn meter? I had passed it on to Treya. Oh, this is not ideal. Okay, let's just wait for the fracture to come around. Now, well, actually, it worked out well because we got the flexibility to isolate Treya, to isolate Padme. Okay, so that was I didn't mean to pass it to Thrawn, but it just managed to work out. Okay, let's go after Kenobi, Anakin. Okay, let's keep working on him. All right, let's pass this over to him. Some more reduce the cooldown. Ooh, my Nihilus is almost dead. That's not good news. I need an annihilate. Okay, a little bit of healing and taunting from Shore, and now we are good to go. Unfortunately, we are stuck behind taunt. I'm just going to go ahead and annihilate Kenobi, and I'm going to fracture Jedi Knight Anakin and take him out as soon as I can. This is messy, but I think we are okay. Lost Shore, which I was fully expecting to. but at least we got rid of Anakin, and now we can work on Snips and take them out. All right, let's see if we can't recover protection on at least Treya. Okay, let's get rid of her. And all right, so this was messy, and we are definitely not going to recover a lot of health and protection. We'll probably end up so we lost 3 points because Shore was taken out, so our 60 points becomes 53. In addition, we have lost protection on all of them, so 53 so 60 banners becomes 57 because we lost Shore, and in addition all 4 of them have got no protection, so that 57 becomes 53, and Thrawn has got less than full health, so 53 becomes 52. So most likely we're going to end up with 52 banners. Yep. Okay, so 55 and 52, which is not great because we need to get at least 57 to be safe. So we need to see what we can do against the other teams to in order to recover some banners. Okay, so if I do the math, if I on clearing, my opponent has cleared 1 more zone than me, but we have cleared the same number of teams. So if I add 180 points for the other zone that I should have cleared, I'm at 1604, so exactly 4 banners ahead of my opponent. And I think to be comfortable to get exactly 1900, I need to get 58 banners in each of these matches at least. So I'm going to do whatever I can to get at least 1900, because that will put a lot of pressure on my opponent to try to get 58 to 60 banners in these matches. All right, so I'm going to go for the JTR team first, and this team is difficult to get high banners against just because there's so many AoEs, and they're definitely going to move first because of the speed bump that that R2 that BB-8 gives. 295, so he's going to move really fast. This team is going to move really fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my Night Sisters, and I'm going to go in undersized, and I'm going to let Plague do the job, because these guys are going to take so much turns that Plague should finish them off pretty effectively. So if I go in with 4, the maximum banners that I can get is 61. I can assume that all 4 are going to end up missing protection. So that 61 becomes 57. So if I end with full health on all these 4 going in 1 undersized, I should get 57 banners. I think that's a safe thing to do. All right, let's go in with these guys and see if they're able to take them out. Okay, they're going to go first. Let's dispel everything and spread some Plague around. All right, let's start by stunning Jedi Training Rey. Okay, let's go for R2 since he's got some AoEs. Let's spread some tenacity down over there. Okay, I'm hoping that ooh, why did that's weird. So I think she might have died due to dots or something, or the burning. She died due to burning, which is why she wasn't revived. Let's get a backup. We need to make sure that we are able to heal all of them to full. I need to be able to get that healing immunity off of Daka. I'm going to save the heal for now. Alright, this will at least get everyone back to full health except for Daka. Now I need to get Daka back. All right, so this is good. Let me see if I can't get Dhaka back. Let's just do this, and this should get Dhaka back. There we go. Heal some more. I think Dhaka might still end up being less than full health, which means I will get 56 banners. Not ideal. 56. Okay, so that means I need to get at least 60 banners in the next match in order to reach 1900. Okay, let's see what we can do against that. We've got we have yeah, we're exactly 60 banners ahead of our opponent. We are 1660 and Ludovico is 1600. So if I get another 60 banners in this match, I'll be more than comfortable. I think I'll be exactly at 1900, and my opponent would need to get 60 banners in each of his matches to win, which would be highly unlikely. All right, what am I going to take against these guys? So I've got my JTR team left, but I don't know if I'll be able to end with full health, full protection over there against those guys. And I've got my Palp team, and I've also got my Geos. I think most likely the Geos are the best candidates in order to end with full health and full protection. I should be able to delay long enough to get the healing ability back. Because if I look at these guys, the Bosk is 297 with 82k protection, and he's going to go first with Django lead. So there's no way I'm going to be able to outspeed this team with anything that I have. So might as well just go with the with the Geos. Now I'm wondering if I should go in undersized, but I probably won't take the risk because I might need the. Yeah, I don't think I'll take the risk of going in undersized over here. Let me just, I think even if I end with 55 banners, that still means that my opponent has to get 57 on average in the other two matches. So yeah, it's in all likelihood I'm going to end with either 60 banners or 55 banners. All right, let's take these guys in. Let's see if they can't recover 60 banners. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and use the heal now and then use it again later. This guy is down. Hopefully heal will be back up by the time we come to the end of the match. I'm gonna go and take out Boba first because he can execute. All right, maybe I could have gone with 4. These guys are doing decent amount of damage. Let's just do a basic for now. Nah, I'm gonna end with 55. Yeah, these guys do too much damage. I should have gone it undersized. I would have got maybe a couple of banners more. Well, anyway, it's not ideal, but I've got 1895, which means that that Ludovico would need to get 57 banners on average against this team to against both these teams to in order to win. So it's going to be a really close match. I'm hoping that that puts a little bit of pressure on him. So that's exactly 115 banners that I need from both these matches, which means 57 in one, 58 in the other. It's going to be close. It's going to be close depending on what my opponent has left on offense. They might just be able to one-shot it, but even one banner here and there could make a huge difference. So maybe I should have gone a little undersized in the last Geo battle, but yeah, I mean they were dealing plenty of damage. I didn't know that they would take out the characters that fast. I guess if it's not Bosk lead, they are pretty squishy. So I should have gone in without Sunfac and gotten a couple of banners more. But that's okay. I think this should be still enough in order to secure the victory. They'll need 57 and 58, and yeah, we've got AOE's in both these teams, tons of counters, tons of retribution. So, yep, hopefully this one does the job. All right, so I'll stop recording now. I'll give you guys an update in a couple of hours. I'll make another short video and give you an update on how the final match went. All right. Okay, so about 10-15 minutes after I recorded this video, Ludovico went in and started attacking my team. So we are here live taking a look at what my opponent is going to do against my zones. I think this is the first time that I'm actually recording a live takedown of my teams by my opponents. So it may take a while, may take about 5-10 minutes, but I wanted to just see and give you guys a peek into live into what my opponent is doing and how much progress they're making against my score of 1895. So it's gone for my CLS team first. So it's been, I think, a couple of minutes. He's still on the match. Let's see what they're able to do against it. It is so while we're waiting for my opponent to finish his battle, let me talk a little bit about the team itself. Typically, I take CLS Han Chewie, and then I usually take in 2 tanks, Scarif Rebel Pathfinder and Old Ben. This time I decided to put in R2 just because of the amazing synergy that R2 has with these guys. Being able to hide Chewie is an additional layer of protection apart from the protection that Ben gives with his taunt. So that is great. And then all the cleansing that these guys do when they crit and all the stat pumps that they get, I think R2 is a great addition to this team. It sucks to pull R2 away from the Jedi Training Ray team, but since I was anyway planning to use BB-8 in my Suicide Squad, might as well make use of R2 over here because I think he's definitely better than Scarif Rebel Pathfinder, who's also great. I mean, 15% turn meter on gain on basic is pretty amazing. So my opponent got exactly 59 banners. This is not great. That means they have saved really tough teams to take out my offense over here. That means they need just 56 banners in the next match to tie me and 57 banners to win. So now is the big question. Will they be able to get 57 banners against my clone team to win this particular match? It's going to be a tough one. I think it might be possible. This clone team, unless, yeah, it's tough. I mean, if they have Geos will easily be able to finish these guys off. But then, no, I think my opponent did keep Geos on offense, so I think that they may be able to finish these guys off pretty comfortably with Geos. I don't know if they would have saved their CLS for this because maybe the CLS they might have used a mirror match, but or maybe they might have used CLS somewhere else, maybe somewhere in the front against the Watt team, maybe. But yeah, let's take a look what Ludovico does. This is going to be really close. 56 to tie, 57 to win. I think it's going to be possible. I don't know if my clones will be able to pull it off. If he's got a decent enough team with the protection recovery ability, then these guys should be able to do a good job. I think he saved enough for offense because my CLS team, I was expecting it to get a better banner hold. It gave him 59 banners, which is I'm kind of disappointed in that team. I thought that that team would do a little better, but anyway, let's see how the clones do. So clones have got Echo's AoE. They've got Retribution because I've got Shakti's Unique, which gives all 4 of them Retribution, and I've got 5's Taunt, which they'll have to go through 5's first, as I don't want to trigger 5's Unique Zeta. And I'm hoping that that Rex is able to annihilate at least one enemy member, because that means a 3-point loss right there, apart from whatever protection loss that they might have. So 1659. This is nerve-wracking. I've never actually seen a live match this close. Usually, whenever I see my opponent attacking, the outcome is already decided before. But this is interesting stuff. Okay, Ludovico, what are you doing against my clones? I should reach out to Ludovico to see what teams he used against each of these. It really sucks because I had tons saved on offense that I ended up not using. I had my EP team. I had Bastila, Dart Basti, that I did not use on my offense that I could have put on my Darth Revan team to make it better. And I had my Grievous, my relic level 5 Grievous that I ended up not using at all. So yeah, I mean, I could have kept Grievous on defense as well to beef up my Separatist defense. So I hate leaving stuff on defense, on offense that I haven't used. It just means that I could have made my defense better. But no point regretting. I made a conscious decision to save the Basti team for EP and the Grievous team for Nuke. So yeah, that was a decision I made. All right, let's see. It's been a minute or so. Let's see what my opponent is doing. 1886. Wow, this is amazing. That means my opponent got exactly 47 banners on the clones team. Holy shish kebab! That is something. Man, the clones really outperformed themselves. That means my opponent definitely lost at least 2 members of the team. Rex definitely would have one-shot someone, and maybe Fives or someone else might have taken out another character in the team. That is great to see. So clones ended up doing a good job. What Rebels couldn't do, what my Karth and Malak team couldn't do, and what my Darth Revan team couldn't do, because both these teams at the top, the Malak and the Darth Revan team, they ended up giving 58 banners on average, and the CLS team gave 59 banners. So whatever he took against the Rex team ended up giving him only 47 banners, which means I think what that means is only one character was left remaining. Because when I take my Grievous Nuke squad against an enemy Darth Revan, and all the 4 characters end up dying and only Grievous ends up remaining behind, I get 47 banners. So if he's got 47 banners over here, that means there was only one character remaining behind, which basically got him the win. So looks like it was a really, really close match with the clones, but pretty happy about it because I spent a lot of time Zetaing the clones and gearing them as well. So pretty happy about that performance over here. I think definitely they're a strong candidate for defense, especially at the back when your opponent has run out of teams. Okay, so that is it for this session of Grand Arena, the first match of the 4th week. Pretty exciting match, and I'm glad I got to share the live version of my opponent's takedown of my last couple of teams. That was pretty exciting for me as well. All right, I was dead sure that he would one shot, given how efficiently he did the rest of the battles. I was dead sure that clones wouldn't pose a problem, but yeah, I think they did a decent job. Okay, cool. So that was the end of it. We've won this first match. We've got a couple of good matches again to look forward to. So I will catch you guys in a couple of days when we have the second match. Thanks for joining in. Catch you guys later.